Greetings. Hello, Facebook, Instagram, YouTube fam. How y'all doing out there? Welcome to episode 82, season 5 of Karima Show and Tell, properly called Celebrating Earth Day and a Ripple Effect the Verdict Has on Our Communities. I know a long title, but it seemed most appropriate. Anyway, Karima Show and Tell is where we talk about poetry, politics, ratchetness, relationships, trending topics, the realities of LA. I'm your host. I'm a poet, writer, director. I do a lot. So anyway, definitely, if you like what we're doing over here, hit the thumbs up, subscribe, or share, or because it's a lot of venues that we go to. So definitely, if you like us, tune in, check out the other episodes, check out the website, Karima Show and Tell, KarimaShowandTell.com. One word, y'all. Anyway, I want to spend a special shout out to my boy Ryan Gonzalez at Cyanic Media, who built the website. So if you get a chance, you got to check it out. It's dope. If you want your website to be dope, go to Cyanic Media, please. On today's show, we have like season 1 heavy hitter Charles May, the original heavy. How you doing, Charles? You there with us? He's still there.
Always, man.
We have season 3 heavy hitter Anthony Gonzalez, and we have a newcomer coming up, Will Campbell. I think Will Campbell been on one show, wasn't he on a show with us? I think he was on one show.
I think he was on the Man Show.
He was on a Man Show, definitely.
Yeah.
Season 2, I think, or 3. It's been a lot of seasons.
I don't know, maybe whatever season 2018 was.
Okay. So we are celebrating Earth Day today, y'all, because today is Earth Day. So I got my green on. Hope y'all got y'all green on. And the theme for this year, right, is restore.
In a pipe.
Huh? What'd you say? I hear you. Okay.
I got my green in a pipe.
In a pipe.
He said I got it in the pipe.
So the theme of Earth Day this year, and Earth Day is 51 years old, y'all. 51 years old. The celebration started in 1970. So the theme is Restore Our Earth. And the second topic we're going to talk about is the ripple effect that Derek Chauvin, I said it right, Derek Chauvin's verdict is having on our communities. So we're going to talk about these two topics and I'll get into it. And I hope you dig what we're talking about, okay? So before we begin, I guess we're going to begin right here then. I forgot to play the music and everything. I hope nobody get mad at me about that part. But I just want to get into it. So the first topic for tonight is Earth Day. So again, it started in April the 22nd, 1970, right? And as the world has turned, like, so to speak, things have gotten a lot more dicey with the Earth. The Earth is basically like glaciers are melting, and it's just the water, the quality of water, everybody, it seems like it's more people in the world. Oh, here you go. Here come Will. Right on time.
Oh, now
right on time, Will. Look, it got the news in the background. That's what I'm talking about. That's what
He's ready to go.
So we're gonna start with the original. We're gonna start with the original. I'm gonna start it off, okay? So this is the top 10 things you can do on Earth Day, okay? Then we're gonna jump in, okay? To give you some foundation. Top simple things you can do on Earth Day, because I know a lot of people are trying to celebrate Earth Day, and you just don't know how to celebrate Earth Day. You don't know what to do. This is 10 solid suggestions for this day. Okay, it's late. Do it tomorrow. Definitely, you need to do this for the Earth. Number 1, reduce, reuse, and recycle. Okay, definitely, we got to conserve what we're doing. And literally, if you got a bottle, don't throw it away. Put some more liquid in that bottle, right? Reduce it or reuse it or some kind of way, or recycle. Number 2, volunteer. They say volunteer. Volunteer and help out clean up the community. Number 3, educate. Okay, educate yourself on what's going on with Earth Day. At least know why we celebrating Earth Day. Conserve water, because water, a lot of people think is abundant, but it's not. Right. So how about y'all? I got more to add to that, but what do y'all think? What are y'all doing on Earth Day? How about you, Charles? You want to start?
I threw some shit away earlier, but that's probably the extent of what my early consists of. I don't really look at it to this degree of like doing something on that day, but I do. But I've changed out light bulbs and added some more motion lights as opposed to leaving the lights on, all night to walk through and stuff like that.
Yeah, that's one of the things.
I just been on a solar light kick for a while,
Really?
Yeah, been trying different brands. Thank God with Amazon Prime, if they don't work, I just send them back. But I've been doing that for like the past 3 months, man. And motion lights are, then the regular ones that you put batteries in, so just trying to conserve that. And when I run the water, especially when I turn the shower on, I try and get in as soon as it starts to get warm. And really, I'm more concerned about the drought, man. We had about to get another bad drought like we did a few years back.
Yeah.
And I think Governor Newsom just declared Mendocino and I think Sonoma like in like the dangerous tier of drought. So we need rain, man. It's a trip. We live in a desert and we're always asking for rain, but it's about to get real bad again, man. So you might see more conservation issues and stuff like that. And you tell everybody to cut down on their water usage and stuff. So I get it, man. But I didn't take it seriously until about maybe 10 years ago, man. I was like, wow, this is really getting bad. So
the drought, definitely. How about you, Anthony? How do you
Yeah, I'm gonna just caveat off of what Charles was saying, like with the water, it's funny how California thinks that they can run on their own, it can be an independent nation, but it really can't. We get most of our waters from the Rockies and the mountains, and the snow cap that fell this year was so bad. It was probably like less than they've had in the last, I think it was like 14 to like 20% less than they've had in the last 10 years. Like gradually it's been going down. So, I mean, if they got to figure out something as far as like purifying the water and everything like that, because they're saying that, they're going to pull from the ocean, but they don't have enough data and science to see what that's going to do to the rest of, that environment, that ecosystem, so who knows?
Destroys it. I did some research on when they make water, fresh water to drink out of the ocean water, they have to put the salt someplace and they put it back in the ocean. But because there's so much salt, it actually kills the fish. So it's like,
because there's not enough. Yeah, because the salt's just in comparison to the amount of water, and then they're throwing it back in there. Yeah. Okay, that makes sense. I mean,
that's why, and it's expensive.
Yeah. I mean, as far as like what I'm doing my part, I'm definitely recycling a lot more. I'm understanding the concept of like, Jesus, we have so much waste. And especially now with the pandemic, it's been so bad with restaurants getting all these plastic containers and plastic waste and styrofoam and everything, especially, but mostly the plastic containers, the hard, black ones with the clear cases and everything like that. Like I've noticed, like anytime you go to a restaurant and get some food or even takeouts and grocery stores, I definitely stopped using like paper bags and plastic bags. I just, got a little fancy, went to Trader Joe's one time, got the fancy bags, take them to my ghetto store, like that's what I do, but definitely recycling and understanding the massive amount of waste that we have with containers. That's the big, we all talk about plastic waste. And it's like, when we went into this pandemic, all the restaurants were like, oh yeah, plastic waste is what we're going to give you guys every single day. Or even just going to a restaurant and they giving you like all that freaking, giant containers with the paper bags, and they want you to have multiple bags. It's like, man, we just waste so much paper and plastic and everything. And it's like, that stuff's not decomposable. So it's kind of like, that's my part, is just definitely like lowering on that. I'm using glass containers that way I can reuse them at all times unless they break. Definitely, I mean, obviously, when people are here, we have a lot of canned goods and bottles and stuff like that, but definitely trying to do our part in recycling those. One of my favorite things before was, like I said, getting my coffee mug, and certain locations, definitely when I was on base, if you got the Earth Day coffee mug, it was good for one whole year. Basically, you get free coffee from any of the stores on base. So
That's awesome.
yeah, I mean, just something simple like that, but
So how
and
about
that could go along. Like if Starbucks does something, let's say if Starbucks you buy the Earth Day coffee, and maybe you get half off coffee.
yeah.
You
Right.
spend $50, the proceeds go to conservation and everything like that, and then you spend like $1 on coffee instead of 5.
Yeah.
So how about
You
you?
know,
How about you? Well, how do you experience? How do you celebrate Earth Day? What do you do? Do you do shop more wisely, or how do you do get down on Earth Day?
Me?
Yeah. How you-
Okay, yeah. No, basically, it's nothing new to me. That's something I've always done.
okay.
I've always, recycled. I've always had paper instead of plastic. And even I drink out of glass. I don't use plastic at all. I've always been that way. My biggest concern is about where are we going? And that's what frightens me the most, because it's like I was just thinking about today. They was just saying we got about like 11 years before it get to a point where we can't reverse what's going on.
Yeah.
So like now you're looking at all the ice and stuff where it's supposed to be cold is melting. You look at all everything is melting, and just like now, it's more like and global warming is real. And we're using up all the fossil fuels in the earth, which really feeds the earth, and we just taking food from the earth, and we don't realize we're just doing all this damage. Mostly, like me, that's where I'm at now. I think more so that the other, like the plastic and the paper and all that, I've been doing that for forever.
Okay.
But I'm more so like trying to look at a solar car, trying to look at stuff like that now. Hopefully I can get my chips up where I can get a solar car, do something just different. So that's kind of where I'm at when I think about Earth Day. I'm frightened for my son. I got a son 14 years old, and they were like, okay, all right, we got about 11 years, and it's so crazy that we won't take that serious until we get into like year number 9. We get in year number 9 when we're supposed to have 2 more years, and everybody will try to hustle, try to do some reverse stuff, which I don't really think is going to happen.
Yeah.
So basically that's I've been doing that for a long time, but today, Earth Day, just remind me of, I don't want to go where we're predicted to go if we don't do anything.
Yeah.
That what Earth Day today, I spent my day like thinking about that what really shook me the most. So
Yeah. I mean, also,
You know-
go on. I'm sorry.
No. I was gonna just caveat off of that solar car, thing. It's just like some people are doing so much to actually preserve the environment, like Elon Musk, right? They have lithium ion batteries, and to extract lithium, it's so inefficient and everything like that. But he's coming out with like a bonus for someone who can come out with a safer way to do it.
Yeah.
Whereas like everyone who else is building their Apple car, or, Porsche, all those electric vehicles are just more looking for the profit. They're looking for their bottom dollar. Whereas like, it's like, okay, well, what are you doing? Because that's what, the biggest thing with Prius. Everyone said Prius, get a hybrid, get this, get that. The nickel in the battery is more harmful to the environment than the gas was. So it's kind of like, what are we doing? So that's why he's like, yeah, to extract the lithium, it's so hard and inefficient, and it does create a little bubble in the environment. So if we can come up with a more efficient way, that would be best for the environment. So I don't know, just to go off of that, saying what some good big companies are trying to do, or at least
Yeah, he's trying to forward
he's trying to be a forward thinker. Exactly.
And just
Right.
instead of like, because everybody now, he already did the battery. All these other companies trying to rush to catch up with him. He's trying to get past them by, hey, if I got a more efficient way of doing it, I can still stay ahead of the curve. But definitely, like and that is what we have to do. We have to figure out ways of staying ahead of the curve, because the thing is, the Earth honestly, like if human beings were just to be removed from the earth for like 5 years, right? The earth
Wow.
could easily heal itself. But the thing
Yeah,
about it,
right, exactly.
yeah, we are the cause of a lot of things that are going on. You
So
know,
then what about the fact that people are trying to, extend longevity of life as opposed to, you know,
yeah,
basically allowing them. I mean, we went from 7 billion people, or what was it, 7 billion to like 8 billion,
Mhm.
like faster, like fastest time than ever than that growth. So the amount of people we have, and we may not notice it here, but when you go to these other countries, I mean, countries like China where they limit how many kids you can have,
Yeah.
because of population and crowd control and everything like that.
Mhm.
I mean, can you imagine things were coming out on Disneyland. They opened up that Hong Kong Disney, and people from rural areas don't even understand, and they're, defecating in the planters there.
Yeah.
That's just how they're brought up. So it's kind of like,
That's part of, I mean, maybe that's just my crazy thing. And I was like, that's why they was talking about this herd mentality, this herd I can't say the word, but
Herd
basically
immunity.
like if this do this herd thing, instead of let's find a cure and let's cure it like polo, it's more like, let's take our time. There's too many people in the world. That's what I really thought. That's what I really thought to happen. Like,
I mean, realistically, for that, the herd mentality thing, it's not necessarily a very, very accepted kind of mindset, but it happens naturally regardless.
mhm.
Whether you get the vaccine, whether you get sick, even if you get the flu or cold, so it's gonna happen naturally regardless.
But okay, to finish the list before we go on to the next subject. So again, I'm gonna reiterate: reduce, reuse, recycle. That's number one. Number two, volunteer. Number three, educate yourself about Earth Day. Don't just be like, okay, I guess I'll wait another 360 days or so to learn about something. Conserve water. Don't play with that water. Everybody thinks you got an abundant amount. You go to Vegas, you see all these big, huge water fountains, right? Don't play with that water. Because the thing is, out of all the water in the world, right? Like we as people consume about less than like 10% of 1% of all the water. But it's only about like 5% of all the water in the world that's drinkable. So we don't have an abundant, you can't just, oh yeah, we're gonna drink the seawater. Your body can't process seawater. So you gotta be conserving water. Choose sustainable items. Like definitely choose smart seafood choices and everything that's sustainable. Let's do that. Okay. Shop wisely. Think about try to find something that has less plastic in it, or reusable shopping bags. That's the easiest way of doing it instead of asking for a plastic bag. As Charles said, use long-lasting light bulbs, right, for to help the environment out. Or, I mean, if you really, I mean, as my friend Rick would say, a tree hugger, plant a tree. Like really, if you really need to give back, because the thing is, plant a tree. Sounds stupid, but it's real smart because it creates oxygen that we need to breathe. So, and it cleans the earth itself. And don't send chemicals into our waterways. Don't wash your car and then splash that bucket into the waterway thinking it's all good and gravy. It's not. And also, if you could bike more, that's personal for your exercise, and also taking a lot of the carbon monoxide out of the world. So those are the 10 things, simple things you can do. So this is not an impossible mission to fix the earth and help the earth, but it is a doable mission. So anybody else want to add something to this thing that we're talking about until we before we go to the next subject?
Dawn to dusk lights.
Okay.
And what those are is, especially for the outside, well, only for the outside, is they work like solar lights, but you screw them in, you turn your light switch on, leave it on, and whenever it gets dark enough, the lights come on automatically.
Mm-hmm.
As soon as it gets light enough, they go off. So you never have to worry like, oh damn, I gotta go turn the light on or off.
Okay.
It comes on at a certain time, goes off at a certain time. Not the damn thing too. Bought a bunch of those, gave them to a bunch of people. I just bought some newer ones that are brighter.
About how much are they?
Oh wow, for like a pack of 2, maybe like $12.
Okay.
And I forgot the hours, but it's like 30,000 hours for the bulb.
And you ain't got to worry
how
about
long
daylight
it
savings
lasts.
time either. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it's great, man. It's a good thing. Again, you never have to worry about, oh, I gotta go turn the porch light on. It comes on automatically and goes off automatically. You never have to touch it again until of course it doesn't work. But and then like I said, just solar lights are kind of hard because they don't. I've tried a bunch of different brands, and they have yet to make a great solar light that stays on all night. Usually, I get 2 to 4 hours, and then by the 4th hour, they're all dead. But once if anyone can improve on that, that'd be awesome. But motion lights, but solar motion lights, they're great for security, great for extra light, especially in the house. It's awesome, man. So, and I noticed they really haven't gotten rid of the plastic bag ban. You can still ask for them. But that's always weird to me. Like we they voted to ban it, but we can still ask for one. Like why they still?
Well, yeah, when you go to Ralph's, you see they giving out plastic at Ralph's.
Right, right.
Yeah, I'm like, I bring my own bag when I go to Ralph's.
That's the issue though when it comes down to the bottom dollar, because what they started doing, we voted to ban them, but they charge you for them.
Right.
No, so now they
come out
10 cents.
They come out better.
Yeah, exactly. So it's kind of like, and then at first it was plastic was bad and paper was good. Now it's paper is bad and plastic is okay. Right. It's just the narrative keeps changing, and it's very easy to just understand plastic is bad. At least paper will
plastic is bad, but also reason why they always say paper is bad, because remember, you got to chop down a tree to get paper.
Yeah.
So now you're taking oxygen away from the earth. So basically that's what they're talking about with that. Yeah. So it's almost like you might as well just I guess go to the store every day and just limit what you got, and just or get your backpack.
It'll help everybody lose some weight right there.
Right.
You gotta carry your food.
You're right.
Right.
So that's gonna be the best
suggestion to finish this off.
He said, no, I think we hit all the wickets right there.
And how about you, Will? You got anything else to add that is a good earth saver that you do?
I guess I think y'all hit it all. Y'all hit it all. Yeah.
Oh, one other thing. I just remember, grow your vegetables. If you could grow your own vegetables, it would save a lot of money. Personally.
If you got a green
yard first.
Right. I grow one vegetable. I grow one vegetable real good, but I can't tell you what it is. So
stupid.
It's legal.
I know we used to grow like spinach and tomatoes and all out front, but then my neighbor redid the yard with the artificial grass and everything, and so we can't do that now. So basically, I just go and just go to the store and just get my vegetables.
Yeah. It's kind of good that farmer markets are opening back up. You know what I mean? So a lot of stuff doesn't get wasted anymore.
Yeah.
But one thing about it, now I have a house back in Tennessee, and I have a big backyard, and in that backyard, I'm gonna put me a garden back there. But I'll be there this summer. I'm gonna probably stay there a little bit this summer, but I'm not there the whole time. But I would love to put a garden there, and then I could just grow my own vegetables there. So
save some money. So we're going into topic 2, folks. The ripple effect that Derek, I keep saying his name wrong, sorry.
Chauvin. Just call him the killer.
I thought that was OJ, but anyway.
This trial, I mean, people don't want to admit it, but it had a lot to do with the similarities of OJ. It was a lot faster, but man, there's a lot of similarities.
I was worried.
So we're gonna talk about how it's impacted our community. Who want to go first? I won't even start. Who want to go first? Who just been?
I'll start this. Look at. OJ was guilty, right? We all knew that. Okay. We all knew that.
I you know what? I can't rock with that because I don't know.
Come on. Don't make it bad.
No. The reason why I say that because I don't. Who was there? Who is that? We cannot 100% say. We can
Hold
all
up.
have ideas, but
Okay,
we
okay,
cannot
you want
really
me to
just say
end-
he's
Okay,
You want
guilty.
me to, I'll end that whole discussion with one thing. How was his shoe prints there? So the ugly ass Bruno Mali shoes.
Okay, now, all right, now, when
Okay,
you
but
want
we're
to
not
talk
even
about that,
talking
who
about
found the
that.
shoe? Who found the shoe? Who did all that investigation?
Before
The
we
police.
Okay,
we
okay.
start talking about
All
All right,
OJ.
then that's the reason why
All
it
right.
got off, because of that sloppy investigation.
Okay,
That
we
wasn't
start talking
sloppy though.
about
That part
OJ.
was only fully
But
in.
okay, we're gonna roll back to that because I'm gonna bring
We're
it
gonna roll back to that, but let's get on
about
to
that.
the
All right,
child.
let me. Okay,
Okay, go ahead, man.
I'm
Go ahead,
just
Ed.
gonna, because there's always, there's always the naysayers, there's always the other side, there are always, supporters for both, right? So in OJ's situation, there's the people that said he was guilty and the people that say he was not guilty. In this situation, the people that say he was guilty, and there was people that saying he was not guilty, regardless, of what we think right here. There's people that were saying that. In OJ's situation, the general consensus was he was guilty. Like that was the general consensus. Is this one? He was guilty. But it's all about what you can prove beyond a reasonable doubt. As Johnny Cochran said, if the gloves don't fit, you must acquit.
Right.
Beyond a reasonable doubt. That caused doubt.
Mhm.
And in I didn't watch the trials. I ain't even paying attention to it because it's more just media hype as opposed to the actual family getting closure. You know what I mean? That was the unfortunate aspect of it. Just like the OJ Simpson trial, like instead of the actual family getting closure, it was more of the media hype, and this is what we're doing, and this and that. And then obviously, like there's another situation that happened, right after. But it's just, the impact that it had on the community is good because it kept it calm, because you can always feel the tension of everything starting to boil, and there was tension. And the thing that I disliked was we had, one of our representatives here in California fly out there and, on the front line with the protesters saying to get confrontational if he was acquitted, quote unquote, get confrontational if he's acquitted. Now that was our representative here in California, Maxine Waters. And I thought that was very, not necessarily, of course, we're all kind of thinking it like people, need a wake up call, but you're a representative. Like if you're telling people that you can't incite riots, don't incite,
Well,
don't.
She didn't say riots, so she said confrontational. So you can take
Okay.
it a couple of ways with that.
No, yeah. And it's all about how you interpret it, right?
Okay.
When I heard it, I'm not thinking like, oh, I'm gonna go punch a cop. But also too, when you're hearing the other side, it's like when I hear people think, I'm making my own decision. So it's kind of like just the general consensus of you're saying this and people are going to do it is just wrong. So, just the fact that it was more of a media circus, just in comparison to the OJ thing and this one, it was just a media circus. It was good for the community. It was good for the family to get closure because regardless of whether they can prove it beyond a reasonable doubt, which I don't know, all the facts, obviously from my eye test, he killed them, in my eyes, that's what it looked like to me. But then, beyond a reasonable doubt, it's not about what you see, it's what you could prove, and they were able to get it. And thankfully it caused some calm and hopefully some peace for the family. I'm thinking about the family, you know what I mean? Like they're the ones who are the ones hurting. Like direct impact to you, direct impact to me is far removed from what the family was going through. And I don't know how you guys felt about this, but the Raiders posted that tweet, I can breathe after the yeah. So like I know I think it was George Floyd's brother who said that he wasn't offended by it. And for the people that got offended by it, it's kind of like, look at they're not trying to make a joke about it. They're trying to make like, because it is. I'm thinking from the family's aspect, like he's guilty. We're never gonna have him back, but this guy got his justice. You know what I mean? So that's my sort of mindset on that.
So how about you? How about you, Charles? Because I know you've been thinking. I've seen your posts on Facebook, and I know you got a lot of steam ready for it. So that's why I had to reach out to you. I was like, if anybody want to talk, I know you want to.
Well, the effect on the community, the Black community, yeah, it was impactful because we're used to it not going our way. You know, that's why so many people speaking of the OJ trial. That's why so many Black people rejoiced. They knew he was guilty, and they knew OJ was no longer really truly connected with the Black community. But for the first time, they saw a Black man get off of a murder of 2 white people, and you know that's unheard of. So that's where the cheering was coming from, and with us, so we're like, well, damn, are we going to see a white man go to prison for killing a Black man? You know, and that's the whole thing we were waiting on. And even with all the evidence that was against Chauvin, we still had that feeling like, oh shit, here we go again with this bullshit. You know, and I was like, wow, man. I mean, you look at the makeup of the jury, you're like, wow, 8 whites, like 2 of them were all alternates. I'm like, what if someone has an agenda? What if someone says, well, I heard all the evidence, but still, it could have been the fentanyl, it could have been the methamphetamine, it could have been the carbon dioxide from the damn, you know, the truck, the police car. I was waiting for that to come out from somebody. So when I heard all 3 guilty, I was like, shit. I was like, wow, okay, this is, and it's sad that we have to celebrate that.
Yeah.
To something that which should be so, you know, given to us, anybody as an American, because all the evidence pointing against him, like we saw the dude sit on his neck, you know, but we're cheering because we don't hardly ever get justice like that, if at all. So I think the impact, I think it's going to be short-lived though, especially if he doesn't get enough time when he gets sentenced in 8 weeks. So that's the other thing I'm worried about, like how much he's going to get. I think about 20 years is what I'm thinking. Some people think more, some people think less, of course. But it was a relief. So, and getting back to the Raider post from the owner Mike Davis, I think, you know, he said he's not going to change the tweet or whatever, the post. And I'm like, dude, this isn't about you though. If it's uncomfortable to other people, just say, okay, well, you know, maybe I'll take it down, or say we can breathe, something like that, you know, because I Can Breathe was like the New York police response to when Eric Garner got killed.
Right.
That was their comeback.
Yeah, they was trolling him. Yeah.
So
I forgot about that one. Yeah.
Right, and that's what a lot of people got pissed about, because they thought he was reiterating that, which of course he wasn't. But I think the optics of it was like, wow, damn, you know, is that how you coming at us, Mike? You know, I'm a Raider fan, you know, and so I think his defiance of saying he's not going to take it down made it look worse. Like, dude, just take it down, or just, you know, replace it with something. Call your PR people, have them come up with something, you know, and that would have helped a lot of things out. But like I said, Floyd's brother wasn't bothered by it, so I was okay with that after that. But we say, yeah, it was a good thing for the community, but then like a half hour before the verdict was read, the sister Micaiah Wright, you know, she gets gunned down, which is a totally different situation. But it still happened, you know, and something else happened after that. In what was it, Memphis? Was it Will? The dude that was getting served a search warrant or something?
Yeah.
He got shot and killed, something like that.
North Carolina.
North Carolina. Yeah. So it's cool if that meant that was the end of all this shit, but we all know it's not the end of all this shit. But we'll take this small victory right now, and that's all I can say on that.
And how about you, Will? I'm gonna speak up, but I wanted to give y'all some.
The thing is, this whole thing, the way I look at it is, I was happy, you know, I say, yeah, I was kind of happy that finally, you know, they, man went to jail. But what's so messed up about it is like the whole world had to march, had to have video, and then they still had, that should have been an open and shut case. We all saw that. But then black folks got to do all this, got to shake heaven and hell in order to get a fucking verdict. And that's what pissed me off. And everybody jumping out in the street, celebrating when we sat up there and we got other people. Look, remember, do you remember Tamir Rice? The little kid. Look, just remember that. And just think about, here we are, we still got stuff going on. We got Casey Goodson, had a Subway, they shot him. He had a Subway sandwich in his hand. Okay, Columbus, Ohio. Now you got Columbus, Ohio, Andre Hill, cell phone in his hand, shot, Columbus, Ohio. Now Columbus, Ohio got the other little girl shot, and they out there marching. Everybody thinking it's marching about that. They're not only marching about that. You still got a man with a Subway sandwich in his hand dead. You got a man with a cell phone in his hand dead in the same city. And what, Columbus, Ohio ain't number that big. You see what I'm saying? So what it is just like, okay, now you talk about OJ. Everybody celebrate OJ. Everybody celebrate got off. Look, I don't know, is this PG or what? Because I'm just getting emotional now.
No.
So, but what I'm saying is like, look,
this is Raider X.
Oh, okay, all right. Now, don't nobody give a fuck about OJ. I could give a damn. That wasn't about OJ. Yeah. That was about years and years of suppression of seeing some of my brothers who I grew up with. We growing up in the hood. They get caught with selling weed, dope, whatever it is. Pac-Man, J1 gets sent away for 13 years for stuff like that. You know, and now we see in a speedy trial, you get this man 3 weeks on the stand. How many of y'all know some of our brothers done got jammed up? They get a 2-second court case?
Yeah.
2-second court, but you get this man, we got film, we got everything. You get this man 3 weeks. And what I'm saying, and everybody, you know, happy. I'm glad, you know, everybody, you know, but there ain't no time to celebrate. Because first of all, you know, we still, right after he got, right after George Floyd got killed, you got what, Dante Wright? Mm-hmm. You got Dante Wright, and this woman hollering taser, taser, taser. But yeah, you're trained. You're trained. Right. Me, I'm supposed to make a mistake like that. You don't make a mistake like that. Okay, let's take it in sports. You get a guy, you know, okay, they just brought him off the practice squad. And then they throw a bomb to him and he drop it. And everybody ain't gonna, you know, like, well, you know, they came off the practice squad. When you get Odell Beckham Jr. drop it, it's gonna be all around the media and everything else. Why? Because he's supposed to catch it. Right. Just like with this lady here, but she wasn't supposed to make that mistake.
I know, but
so what I'm saying, I guess I'm off the subject, but anyway, the bottom line is,
I just want to keep us on topic. That I'm going to talk about that topic. But
okay, go ahead.
What's the impact of this verdict to our communities? Because the thing is, I mean, I really want to know, because the thing is, it's like the people out there that are watching, right? They're all over the place, right? Right? Because to me, I felt fearful to know what the verdict was. I didn't want to look for it, because I was like, it's going to be the same thing, you know, that I'm always expecting, right? But somebody had to tell me. I asked, but I didn't want to go search out the thing. And I was hoping that this man did a criminal act and he was going to get prosecuted for that criminal act. Like, it's video of him killing somebody, right? And there's no denying that. And I didn't like what the defense was talking about, all these drugs and stuff like that. I didn't appreciate that part. But I really want to know, like, what can we expect next from this impact? I'm like, because the thing is, I didn't celebrate, because I already know that wasn't really, I wouldn't say justice. That was more like
throwing you a bone. They threw us a bone. That's all it is. I mean, they throw a dog a bone.
I think they finally balanced the understanding that everything you do does impact your community. I mean, I think that's what I saw. That they were like, wait up, because before they were like, we just want to get this person free to do whatever you want to do, live his life. And it's like, you don't understand that people are angry and it's building up. And I was more like, you know, like, thank God that people didn't act a damn fool after in the street celebrating, because sometimes that celebration turns into some craziness. And I'm glad the whole entire world did not resort to let's burn down some shit anyway type shit. I don't agree with that.
But my thing is,
yeah,
that to me, I don't even worry about that. They're gonna do what they got to do. Because the whole time while we sitting up there doing that, remember, down in Florida, They say they passing laws. You can't even get together and protest now.
Yeah.
They in Texas, they doing it. In Michigan, they doing it. See,
Yeah.
while we sitting here doing all this stuff here, they passing laws. See, and what you say, how is it going to affect us? What they're doing, they waiting to make sure this ain't gonna happen again.
Okay.
They're gonna stop you from voting. They're gonna stop you from protesting. They're taking away your voice. This is the effect it's gonna have on our community.
Okay, so what would you suggest we do to counteract that? Because the thing is, things are happening, but it ain't like we don't have any power. I mean, we saw this verdict that showed us that we do have some power. So, I mean, what would you suggest that we do? Because a lot of people on a lot of shows, they get on, they talk about this is what they're doing to us, right? As like,
right.
So, but I'm saying we have power. What do we do?
And that's what I'm talking about. We gotta know what's happening. We gotta know what's happening. Okay, now my dad used to always, there's a cause, there's an effect. Now, what did the Sanchez and all them do stand up in front of the media today? Talking about, if you do this, you're going to jail. Talking about protesting. Now, how did we really get Chauvin, put the pressure on Chauvin through going out there protesting? How did we get people out to vote? We went out there, we protested. So what did they do? They turn around and they passed the law and said, you can't protest. If you do, you go to jail. Now we got to figure out, what do we do now? We got to make sure we get those people out of office. So it's a lot of things connected together to this. Okay. It's not just one thing. It's a lot of things connected together.
If we're having a discussion, I'm not saying that I'm right. I'm just saying that I need the community to let's have a discussion about it. Let's really have a discussion about it.
Right.
So that's the point of me bringing up the topic, because I wanted to make sure that you know, it just doesn't go away. That, you know, this, what we're trying to do, right, to make this world a better place for everybody, does not just go away. So, Charles, you want to add to that, or what you feeling?
Well, you know, they keep bringing up the term police reform.
Yeah.
You know, I do, the thing about reform, and you know, talk about defunding, which, you know, I know that makes sense for a lot of people. When you talk about reform, you know, it's still going to come down to that individual, man. You know, we can say all the stuff we want, but you know, you could take away the military guns and a knee killed George Floyd. They didn't get that from the military, you know. So it's going to come down to who in the hell is behind it at that time, whatever goes down. So
it comes down to accountability.
Right. And that's what it starts with that person. Are they going to like think twice now? Hopefully that'll be the case. But if they don't give a qualified immunity, you know, they're talking, oh, well, a lot of cops won't be cops. Well, there'll be other people that take over their job. I said, but you know, that's the sticking point for a lot of the GOP. They don't want to, like, well, you know, if these people can be sued for stuff like this, now you're going to have a depletion in the police force, which may happen, or may bring out better people to be cops. We don't know.
Yeah.
So again, man, as long as racism is profitable, it's here to stay. You know, that's the way I see it. So we can say, come up with everything we can, but it's going to be here, man, until these old heads die out and it gets a little better for everybody. So
yeah. So like
right now they putting in laws in place and stuff, right? But that's what they're doing now. They're putting laws in place to stop a lot of this. Just like now, you remember Warnoff and all them, they won in Georgia and all that. Now they putting voter suppression to make sure that you don't vote. You know, they make sure you don't vote and just say, what's my man Keith Ellison, and don't they vote those people in? What was Keith?
The AG?
The AG, don't they vote him in?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
no, the AG is appointed, and then they get approved by the Senate.
Okay, they get appointed. So the thing is, it all really goes down. Do we have a say about politicians? And we got to always, like I said, I always go back to the Sanchez, the governor down in Florida. What all they're doing crazy stuff. What they're doing in Texas, it's these politicians, they passing these laws, and we got to follow the laws. So, you know, if they tell you, okay, they're going to do voter suppression, and then these same people get voted in, they're going to pass laws that's going to restrict us, give police freedom to kill and nothing happened. So, and it all goes down. We got to have a discussion about how we're going to mend that fence. You know, I'm not worried about, you know, dude getting off and all. I want to see how we're going to mend this fence, you know.
I'm glad that, I mean, I'm more worried about the community. Like the thing is like my nephew got to walk around in this world, and I'm worried about him, and I'm worried about like how we're treated out there in our own community while as they police. They're not getting rid of the police. That's a given. You're not all of a sudden, because when shit go down at your house or out in the streets, and you want the police to come through and do something about it. You know, ain't nobody gonna walk around, everybody gonna be strapped. That's not gonna happen.
Also too, you want them to be able to do something about it. You know what I mean? Like, you want them to have the resources to do something about it. San Francisco just passed a law, so like affecting community as a San Francisco, right? I mean, I know, and I don't disagree with you. Florida and Texas be doing some crazy stuff, but I am gonna just add in that it's not just them. California, where we're at, has the strictest gun laws in freaking America. Florida actually has some they're in the top 10 for the NRA strictest gun law country, like a state, because each state is individually done. Yeah. So, yeah, they are crazy. I mean, the individuals are crazy. The decisions that they try to implement, you know, is crazy. But like San Francisco just implemented that the fire department responds to domestic violence calls. Now, what happens? It does not. So and I've heard people, you know, I'm not saying we need to, I hate the term defund, because definitely fees need to be reallocated. And I think not necessarily, I was in the military, so that this is where my mindset's coming from. We were constantly trained every day. You know, I think the best way to weed out the bad or the weak, because I wouldn't even say people, if you volunteer for any type of service like that, you're doing something bigger than yourself at one point, regardless of whether your mindset changes in the beginning. I mean, through it in the beginning, at some point, you're like, I need to do something for my community. I want to be a fireman. I want to be an EMT. I want to be a police officer. I think it's always at some point a little bit of goodwill. So I'm hearing a lot of people say, well, they need to do something different. Portland has a they're doing a test where the police aren't carrying any weapons. Crime has gone up above 500%. And in San Francisco, the same thing is going on. Domestic violence has gone up because they know that the police aren't responding to it. So that's kind of scary as a community and as, you know, as people. And then my thing is like, well, people are the arguments like, well, you can have a psychologist. Well, what person that goes to school to get their psychology degree is gonna go and be a psychologist or ride along for $50,000 a year? You know what I mean? They spend all this money on school and they're not going to go and do that. And on top of that, they're not going to go and work for LAPD to be a counselor to deem these officers fit. I mean, I was just looking right now, we had over 21 shootings by the LAPD alone. I didn't look specifically to who, black, white, blue, or orange. But we had 21 shootings within the last week. Yeah. You know, we're only on Thursday. So since Sunday, which is the calendar week, there's been 21 shootings. You know, so it's kind of,
that's what I want. I want to know, like,
yeah, like
I know it's bigger than us four here. I know come up with some answer for the world, but I really just want to be like, this is a serious issue, and we need to discuss it and consider it, all of it. You know, because the thing is like, we know if we don't know that person that the cops pulled over, we know somebody who know that person, because it's not like, you know, that just happened to them, you know. And I really want to just, and I have time, so don't this
and and the thing is too, is we're not going to have the right answers, you know. You may say something that I disagree with, and I may say something that you disagree with, or we may agree on the same thing. But the people in power, like, people are talking about how the Trump administration was so bad and everything, and it was, you know, there's so much division that went on in our communities and, you know, everything like that. But it hasn't got any better.
Yeah.
I mean, realistically, if you want to look at it, it's realistically gotten worse. And you're saying, you know, Florida's passing these state laws and everything like that. You know, these state laws still got to get approved. And, you know, I say this about our government is that, you know, when they founded our government with the three arms, you know, basically 2 out of the 3 had to agree. And, you know, it's just like when DACA got removed by President Trump, you know, the Supreme Court overruled that and put it back in. So it's kind of like, you know, at some point, hopefully the checks and balances work its way, because freedom of speech is a big thing. But then the people that are arguing freedom of speech and censorship is huge. You know, the left tries to censor the right tries to censor the left. And they all, no matter what you believe, the right and the left all try to censor us. You know, they're all trying to censor us. They don't want us to have a voice. They don't want us to, you know, I tell people this all the time. If you don't, something doesn't make sense, common sense is an uncommon virtue. But the hardest thing is to understand someone else's opinion and take it in and just understand it. Like, why are you coming from where you're coming from? You know, that anger that you have, that, you know, like you were saying, that person that you knew that got pulled over, who knows that person? You know, it's that type of thing that makes you want to question. And we should be questioning our government. I tell people that all the time. Like, I don't care if you're right. I don't care if you're left. I'm going to question you. And I'm going to question you why you believe that. And hopefully you can bring me in to maybe that thing. But just because I agree with you on that thing doesn't mean I'm going to agree with you on this thing. And that, you know, division causes a lot of division in the community, causes so much division, you know, where people are just not enjoying being around each other just because of what you may believe or what news site you listen to, as opposed to this person.
And honestly, this is not, y'all been on this show. This is not a filtered show. So speak your truth, okay? I do not need anybody to agree with me or disagree. I don't even need it, right? I got a big head, got a lot of crazy thoughts in my own head. I really just want to know your truth and what you stand on, and how are we going to deal with this in our community. So, Will, don't feel like you got to be guarded or guided or nothing like that, because it's not that kind of show. I really want to know how is this impacting you in your community? Because I know you got a 14-year-old kid. You worry about him, right? To the point that you captain defense. You are a superhero in your house. You try to make sure your son is in the straight and narrow. Like, you need, like, you just want to make sure that he's safe. So I get it. I get the passion. And I just want to know, you know, what else are you thinking about this issue?
Well, basically, you know, I just, you know, me and Chuck talk a lot. I'm more so like, I'm a human being. Mm-hmm. And I just think that's all lost. Because first of all, my dad always taught me. He said, first, you're a human being. He said, second, you're a man. He said, third, you're black. And that's what he told me. And he was like, so many times we take the third rail and put it at the top. Mm-hmm. So that's one reason why you see people get shot down. They're not looking at, we got to look at each other like human beings. Mm-hmm. First of all, and if we can just stop that and just look at people like human beings, then we'll be okay. But I know when somebody don't see me as a human. And that's where the problem is. The problem is too many people out here who don't look at me as a human and don't look at people.
I don't mean to cut you off, Will. What state are you from, if you don't mind me asking? Are you from Tennessee? I know you said you had a house there.
No, I'm originally from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
Philly? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm just curious, you know, so you know how it's all about placement, you know, because I don't know if you've seen the show where my best friend Chico, me and him grew up together. We've been friends 21 years now. Mm-hmm. And I'm only 30. So that's a long time of our lives. Right. And I told him, you know, from the same thing, I'm like, me growing up here in California, what you speak of, it doesn't make sense to me. Granted, I'm not white, I'm Mexican, but it doesn't make sense to me because I was born in such a diverse place. I was born in so, you know, my school was 5,000 and the majority of it was minorities. you know, the minority was white, you know, so it's kind of like, but when I first went to Pensacola, Florida, you know, being over there, even though I was on a base there, leaving to go get my haircut in town, it was a little weird. And I understand where you're coming from. And I told Chico that when he got accepted to Claflin University, I'm like, bro, you're gonna see some weird shit. You know, so I was just kind of curious because, you know, people that, and I told Chico, I was like, it's nothing that we really, you know, we experience it here, but it's nothing that people really experience, especially if you're born and raised in Los Angeles County. I mean, it's the most diverse place probably in the nation. So I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was just kind of curious on that.
Yeah. No,
because I could tell. I was like, when you say that, I'm like, you ain't from Cali. You know, like,
no, but you know, my thing is, you know, is if we can, I think we take the human element out of everything when the human element should be number one. Just like we take common sense out of a lot of stuff when common sense should be number one. So, and the thing is, I hate when people put certain things like, just look, believe me, I do follow the law, but some people say the law gives, I have my rights to do this. Come on, we're in a pandemic. You know, we're in a pandemic, wear masks, but I have my right to do this, you know, and we put our rights, we put our beliefs, we put all that stuff above our brother, you know, and like what you say, you Mexican, you didn't need to tell me that, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? You're a human being to me. Because then when I started lowering myself down to that little rail that you call Mexican, and we started lowering our rail down to what I call black, then we done lost all the essence of being a human being. See, I got to see you as a human being first. And that's why I feel like the problem, Karima, is we don't see each other like human beings. You know, like when I see it covered on the news, another black man shot. When are they going to look at us like a human being? George Floyd had a knee on his neck. Did you ever look at it? Forget what color Chauvin is. Did you see that there was another human being with another knee on a human being's neck? And the reason why we always say Black Lives Matter, because it seems like we're not looked at as human beings. And the only thing, just like Malcolm used to say, I don't, civil rights, human rights. And just like one of my favorite quotes was in a movie. I don't know if Karima, you're an art guy. You ever heard of the movie or seen the movie, The Elephant Man?
Yeah, I have. Yeah.
The Elephant Man, what did he say? I'm not an animal. I am a human being. And, you know, and that's what, and my thoughts, when you ask me my thoughts, that's my thoughts. I'm not an animal. I am a human being. Treat me like a human being. And basically, and I just feel like if we can get to a point where white people can see us as human beings, which is hard because you remember the history.
Yeah.
The history plays a whole big part of it. It's just like having a little brother. You know, you beat up your little brother all the time, and when your big little brother raise up and finally beat you, you're gonna like, who you think you is now? Or he act like he want to take. Who you think you are now? Because you never looked at him as your equal. And the problem is, to solve this problem, man, we just, first of all, we're gonna have to look at each other as an equal, and basically, like, I've kind of like reach out to people who can understand me and hear me. And we group up, and my thing is it's like, I don't know, this ain't the right thing to say, but I just feel like some people need to be terminated, period. Because when you sitting up there and you doing harm, you need to be terminated. You need to be put away. You don't even need to be in society. Because just like that Derek Chauvin case, that should have been open and shut. There was no reason for us to
spend no
3 weeks.
Process.
Huh?
Yeah, there shouldn't have been no due process with that guy.
Right. And that's common sense. And you see how we throw common sense out the window? That's common sense. We all agree with that, man. I'm like, and then, but yet you got Tucker Carlson talking about, oh, the jury was scared it was going to be a riot. That's why he got off. But didn't you see the video?
Man, but that's Fox TV, man. That's propaganda TV right there, man. At its worst. So you got to take what they say with a grain of salt. They so full of shit. Especially when
I'm
he
just
goes
gonna.
on the show and says
There's
he's not
people
even
who
with.
believe they got an
I'm
audience.
gonna play this. I'm gonna play this devil's advocate real quick though. For the common sense aspect, Karima knows. Common sense is my thing. My favorite line in history is common sense is an uncommon virtue. And you touched on another point. I'm a history major, and who do I always say is the most influential? And I say this, I say he's the most influential person in history. I don't say black man, I don't say white man, I don't say anything. The most influential person in history for especially the amount of time that he lived is Malcolm X.
Malcolm X.
I've said that for years. I've studied his work for years. Like, that's my man. I love that guy. I'll go to fight for that guy any day. So I feel like he was one of the most influential people in history from the beginning of time. Especially from what he spoke in that short amount of time. So I appreciate you saying that, because I was like, ooh, Malcolm X. I heard that. I was like, my eyes sparked up. But to play the devil's advocate on what you're saying about open and shut, right? Or common sense. For the unfortunate situation where that young girl got shot, right? Where they released the body cam footage. And this is why we have body cam footage now. You know what I mean? Those cameras that officers have to wear that they shouldn't be covering up. You have a 14-year-old son. She was what, 14, I think?
16.
16. Okay, yeah. And she was in the act of stabbing someone.
Yeah.
If she's in the act of stabbing someone and that cop made the decision not to do something,
Right.
and that
Everybody
other
saying what they caught.
I'm not even thinking about that, because my biggest thing is, like, I think about families. I think about you as a father, me as an uncle, Karima as an uncle. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I think about. So what would that other girl, it was another female that she was trying to stab, right?
Mm-hmm.
What was that other person's family? What would their mom say to that cop? Why didn't you save my daughter? You were right there. You could right?
You're not playing devil's advocate. We're on the same side. See, that's what I'm saying. We got to get we can't lump all these things into one.
Yeah, it's not one.
And that's a different, because me and Chuck talked about that earlier. Because if that had been my daughter up against the car getting ready to get stabbed, I would want that cop to do the same thing. So
you were shot.
Now, see, what we got to do, we got to talk to the intelligent people. See, we can't be listening to these people who all one-sided and blinded and got an opinion regardless of if the sky is red, they're going to say the sky is blue. No,
But what about the platform?
No, my thing is the intelligent, what Karima was trying, we got together to have intelligent conversations, and stuff like that. I'm pretty sure we all agree on that. We all agree on that. And we can't lump all this stuff into one. That's why when you hear me at the beginning, you hear me talk about Columbus, Ohio, there was a police shooting. Yep. You heard me talk about two people, right?
Yeah, I heard you talk
Andre
about
Hill
all three.
And Casey Goodson.
Yeah, and then obviously there's I
wasn't talking about that because that was just something that just got out of hand. I do not say that, and
it was the one that triggered that sort of thing, but those other ones had already been. But what I'm
saying, it's almost like what you were saying earlier about the OJ. People they wasn't celebrating because of OJ. People in Columbus are not protesting because of her. They protesting because there was two more previous cases that unarmed people was killed.
Yeah. So now, and I heard about the kid with the sandwich too.
Yeah, and just like now this third, and everybody putting the spotlight on it. I hate that they putting the spotlight on that. Because of course we all agree. Hey, the cop had to do it.
Just to make sure it's a balanced conversation. Charles is chomping at the bit. I can see him. His eyes is wandering all over the place. He's like, I got something to say. What you got to say, Charles? What you got?
No, I was going to agree with Will because it's two different situations. I mean, I got into it with this sister online about, and I mainly see the women, the black women getting upset over what's the name, Micaiah Wright, and rightfully so. So I don't jump on them. But a lot of them say, well, why did they shoot the wound? And some girl said, why didn't they shoot in the air, give her a warning shot? And I said, well, police officers aren't allowed to shoot in the air. That's just not how it works. I said, we get too many cues from TVs and movies and think that's how it's supposed to go in real life. You don't shoot the wound, you go center mass. You're taught center mass when you shoot. You don't say, well, let me shoot her in the hand and knock the knife out. I mean, come on, man. I mean, some of the stuff was ridiculous. So when I first heard about it, I was like, wow, that's messed up. Then when I saw the body cam, I was like, whoa, she's swinging that knife like she's Zorro up in this bitch, you know. And I was like, yeah, I see why he took the shot. And it's even more dangerous because the girl in the pink was in the same line of fire. So the fact that he hit that shit, I think 4 may have been excessive, but I can't really say that because of the situation at hand. But she, you know, something had to get done. And someone said, what about a taser? Well, he was at a distance, and the tasers both of them need to stick to you to work. You just can't have one prong in and the other one out. It's just not going to work. So they said, I think they said from the time you arrived on scene and the time the whole thing ended was 12 seconds. Think about that.
It was right when he got out of the car.
Right. 12 seconds to all that shit took place. I was like, come on, man. I was like, I know it looks bad. The optics is always what I'm talking about. I know it looks bad. But the flip side is he probably saved a black woman. He took a black life, but he probably saved a black life. And did you want him to sit there, wait and see what happens, and then pick and choose? When they act, so I said to everybody, I said, let's not look at it through the optics of how we normally look at it. Let's take this one as you see it, as it happens right there on the spot. And I tell everybody, if that was your daughter in the pink and you had your gun, are you shooting the girl? Or you gonna be like, well, maybe she won't stab her that bad. No, you're gonna take that girl out. Right. The cop just did your job for you. That's all that was. So
and there was actually 2 girls, right?
Yeah.
There was one girl that fell, and then she went after the one girl that fell on the sidewalk, then went after the girl in the pink.
Right.
Yeah, she was the fucking Tasmanian devil, boy. I was like, shit. So it's just unfortunate, man, that she had to die. But you know, I hate when people sort of say, well, you know, it's another black life. Yeah, but the cop probably saved it to the black life, but we don't know. We just can't know. And she had that knife, and it's just a freeze frame where she about to swing. And I was like, wow, she was going after that sister. And I was like, you know, it's unfortunate, man, but you know, the cop did the right thing in this case, in my opinion. So,
yeah, you know, we talk about accountability and you know, growth and everything like that. You know, we have to hold them to their accountability. We have to hold law enforcement and individuals to their accountability, but also to us, you know, we need to grow. You know, most of these people that took advantage of the peaceful protests, you know, the ones that turned it into riots by looting and you know just getting confrontational because they were peaceful, you know, like it's we have to hold ourselves accountable, not only maybe ourselves only, but hold the person next to you accountable too, you know. So that, you know, accountability is just big, and self-awareness on your own situation and your own wrongdoings, you know what you're following, what you're believing, and basically, especially for people that have a platform, you know, we talk about how you talked about, Will, you know, cops can't make those mistakes. It's true. They shouldn't, and they should be trained more to not make those mistakes. I mean, there's cops I've known.
You know what? I think you know when you say train more, I think they're trained. It's just like my thing is, it's like you have cops on the scene who want to do right. Because just like, okay, just say, if you're talking to me and you're not quite making sense, but I'm listening. You know why I'm listening? Because I want to listen. You know, and you can get somebody who can just dismiss you that quick. When they dismiss you that quick, they're not trying to hear you. So now you got some cops on the scene who wanna do right. It's some cops, man. See, the thing is, these cops who mess up get the headlines. But don't you know there's plenty of cops who retire for decades and years
and never fire their weapon.
Right.
Yeah. That's what I was gonna say.
And these are the people who need to be on the force. But what the problem is, we got these Rambo style motherfuckers who trying to be on the force now. The thing is, the cop is supposed to be somebody who's intelligent. know how to de-escalate the situation. What I'm saying, we got all these Rambo type. We gotta redefine what a policeman is. A policeman ain't somebody who go out and just show how tough he is. That ain't what a policeman is. You got to know how to, just like always. My dad used to show me this old footage of this a cop. It was a cop, Columbo. He said Columbo. He said, always watch Columbo. Columbo go in, he assess the situation, do all that. Columbo never had to have interactions with nobody. You know why? Because he's always assessed the situation. Not saying these cops are going to always be like that, but too many times I've been out as a black man. We all, I don't know everybody, but when they roll up and they talk to you like you ain't even their equal. Yeah. You know, and I'm a man. You can't talk to me like I'm not your equal. Now look at George Floyd. The first thing, $20. First thing they say, get the fuck out the car. With the pistol out for $20, a misdemeanor. And you know what they usually do with somebody who do a counterfeit? They write a citation. You get a citation, but yet he got a gun pulled on him and they say, get the fuck out the car. Is that the way you approach somebody?
Yeah, no. Yeah.
And that's what I'm saying. It's like, if we could just, we need to, they're being trained, but that training they getting, it's not working. It's not working.
Well, that's what I'm saying though. The training that they're getting is not, and I'm going to say this, you know, it's not enough. Where, like I said, we were constantly trained to not de-escalate a situation. We were trained to approach the situation with violence, you know, in the military. Yeah, obviously, I'm not a police officer.
Not a police officer.
But see, and also, but you know who originally where the training guide for the policemen come from, right?
Oh yeah, I know. So that's my point though.
It comes from the Israeli army. That's the training guide for the police officers from the Israeli army.
That's what I mean.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm just saying, like, we need to train these cops more. That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm saying they need not necessarily more training. Maybe more was the wrong word. We definitely need to change their training method. You know, we need to change how they, you know, instead of doing 2 weeks of psych, you know, they need to do a whole 2-month course on psych and how to de-escalate situations and things like that. You know, like you were saying. So that, you know, that's basically what I was trying to say.
Also, you know, I just think, you know, a lot of times it's just in the human being, man. Some people, when I look at somebody, I look at them as my equal. And when you roll up on the scene and you don't look at somebody as your equal, there's a problem from day one.
Yeah.
That's
all the training in the world ain't gonna change who a person is, man. That's one thing I learned in life. You can train them all you want, but if they don't, that heart is what their heart is, the training ain't gonna help them. They gonna come into the situation the same exact way they would have came before the training. So it's that person, man. It's the individual. You can defund, you can reform. It's that one encounter, one-on-one, and how's it gonna react, man? So they already see a black man as a threat.
Hold on, let me add this.
Sometimes, Chuck, I just feel like people can be educated. Because just like, okay, just say like Mark Davis, when he put up I can breathe, you know, he didn't know. But then just like, okay, just say Drew Brees talked all that stuff. And then they educate him. You're like, now I know. Now I want to see who you are after you know some things. Now that's why I'm saying it's like, that's why when I look at people, I'm like, yeah, it depends on you are who you are. Because what they always say, your environment shapes your behavior. So, you know, if I come from a certain environment, I'm gonna behave a certain way. But if I run into you, Chuck, and you out here in LA and I'm from Philly, and then you show me the ways of LA and I learn the ways of LA, I change my behavior. You see what I'm saying? Just because you educated me on certain things. And I do believe people can be educated, but I do believe what you said, they gotta wanna be educated. Yeah. They gotta wanna change, you know.
And I just want to add this so the people who are listening, this show talks about, it does real discussion on issues. Okay, it's not left wing or right wing. It's just real people talking about real things. So I know a lot of people are gonna be like looking at it and having their opinions. It's a real discussion, just like you were having in a barbershop. He's like, okay, what do you think? What's going on? And so
this is chop talk.
This is real conversation. This is not anybody having a certain agenda or a lean or making money from this, or somebody's paying them to do this. This is all real talk, okay, y'all? So I just want to let y'all know Karima Show and Tell is only about that, okay? So anyway, sorry to cut the conversation short, but we're gonna have to do a final wrap up because I think I went over the time and probably got a lot of editing to do. Y'all have made my job absolutely difficult, but enjoyable as hell. So I just want to start with the number one heavy I've ever met that's on the team, Charles May. How can people connect with you, and what's your final thought on this subject?
You can connect with me on Facebook, Charles May. You can do I have Instagram, but I'm hardly ever on it. So it's Neo Soul Scribe at Instagram. And my final say on everything, OJ did it.
How about you, Will? How about you?
OJ didn't do it. Basically, like I really don't be on social media a lot, and but I've just recently started a YouTube channel where I've been live streaming basically the whole things that's been going on, because like what I also I've been basically keeping up with the news and all, because basically that's what I do. I freelance for the news. So I keep up with that. So I got a YouTube channel. It's called See the Follow Up. It's the letter C, THE follow up. And basically it's so crazy that we actually got together, because what we're doing now, I'm getting ready to do a show like that. And it's going to be basically, about the news, and I'll be doing it and be running clips, and we'll comment on clips and stuff like that. So
you better invite me on. That's all I do know.
What's that?
You better invite me on.
Oh, definitely. Well, first of all, with these y'all four right here, I mean 3 right here, y'all my first guest. So y'all gonna be my first guest, because what I'm doing, I'm gonna air it up, and we live stream it to Facebook. We're gonna be live streaming to YouTube, and also, but the difference is just like, I'll be running like news clips. I got a little box in the side. We'll run news clips, and we'll comment on that too, and stuff like that. But it'll be just like this basically. But it's called.
I'll send you my pay scale.
Huh?
I'll send you my pay scale when I get on.
Well, you send me your resume, then I'll see what your pay scale will be. see, that's what everybody always give me. I want to see your resume. But anyway, but my last comment on this is that we got a lot of work to do, and I'm willing and open to reach out and conversate with people who want to make change. If you don't want to make change and you stuck in one side, or you don't feel the pain, you don't feel the pain of the people out here, you don't feel the pain of the homeless, you don't feel the pain of none of that, don't come in my world, and that's just how I am. And my final comment is this, like I said, I just think we need to get together and think positive and try to find solution. Like my dad used to always say, anytime you have a conversation, you always want resolution.
Yeah.
And it don't matter how heated it get, how slanted it get, because we all trying to go to the same direction. We're trying to get resolution. So, comments, I would just thank you for having me on. And yeah, I don't know if OJ done it or not. So I don't quote me on that.
So,
you do.
So Anthony, how about you? What's your connect, and what's your
Charles, it's good to see you. Will, it's a pleasure to meet you. Like I hope to continue some more conversations with you. It's great talking with you. I'm Anthony. If you want to get a hold of me, Karima knows the way. He's the path right now, but I am starting a foundation for veterans. It's going to be Wings in the Sky. So basically what we're trying to do is just, I'm 30 years old. I've been to way too many funerals. And so we got to get guys out to help out guys. So, you know, that's basically the concept of it. We kind of have it in like testing right now with one of our friends that was not doing too good. And, you know, there's a group of us that came from different states to go. And, you know, thankfully he is going on 62 days in a rehab facility. Okay. So, you know, we've been, it's good. And we're working on that. So more to follow with that. And yeah, I mean, always a pleasure to Happy Earth Day. You know, obviously I got to have the baseball in there. You know, that's my first love right there. So,
all right.
Yeah.
Sports fan. We all right now.
All right, there we go.
And I am your host, Karima J. Spear, aka K2. You can find my work at karimaspear.com, KarimaSphere.com. And also check out the new website, y'all. This is for the radio show. You can find all the episodes, or mostly all the episodes, on Karima Show and Tell. That's KarimaShowandTell.com. One word, folks. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in to episode 82, celebrating Earth Day and the ripple effect of Derek Chauvin's verdict is having on our community. A long title. I don't know why I thought of it that way. But I want to thank everybody on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, LinkedIn. I want to thank all my guests for making this an awesome show, actually building the momentum, because I have a choice. Either we're going to stop in 5 more episodes, or we really going to, what's that? Or we're going to continue on right till 100. Anyway, I want to thank everybody. And until next time, I want to say.
Wait, that was me. My bad.
It's good.
Well, we on CNN. What's up?
So episode 83, y'all, is the Man Show theme on May the 6th. Okay, I'm gonna definitely post some promo before it, but May the 6th is the next show. Anyway, Karima Show is a great show. So let's go tell somebody. It was a great show. So go tell somebody. Here we go.
All right, y'all.
All right.
Peace.
Later.